very exhilarating. Oh, great, everyone's getting that. So a few things I would like to mention. Number one, the first speaker talks about the phrase liberating advantages. I thought that it was quite interesting to put the word liberating and advantages together, but then I looked it up and apparently it means a positive outcome that comes from breaking free of old rules. So it is actually a term which you can use in leadership. So it's called liberating advantages. So that was something I learned from Martin's speech. That was interesting for me. Now the second thing I thought was interesting was the use of the phrase ultimate mix of something. So for example, if you want to say, oh, this was amazing, this experience was an ultimate mix of bittersweet, happy, and something like that. So it can be an ultimate mix of something that you have an experience of. So that was also very well done. But the second speaker, what I thought was interesting is 我听得懂, so I do understand. Right, coming from Singapore, I do understand. It's just that I can't read because we use simplified Chinese back home. And my Chinese intonation is absolutely terrible that I have to repeat the word 我的妈妈的衣服很好看 like 35 times to pass my Chinese oral. So I do not speak Chinese because it's so bad. But I did understand what she was saying, and what I thought was interesting was when she used the Chinese word, I think you mentioned about health management, but usually we would say, oh, we would go on a diet, but the word health management is very beautiful and it's very formal, so I like that. Crossing boundaries, or what we call crossing thresholds, that was also interesting. And equating money with love, I've heard that so many times, especially when parents do that a lot. So these were three phrases which I liked when you mentioned it in Chinese. Then we come to our last speaker, Nick. Nick, God is literally everywhere. Okay, I'm going to start like an anthropology thing. This is because I learned this in school. So you use the word shrine. This is such a teacher thing. You use the word shrine to describe something that, you know, you go to a temple where the gods are or the idols are. Now, you use the word shrine if you're talking like, for example, if you go to Japan or, you know, if you go to Taiwan, you go to the temples, you use the word shrine. But if you're visiting Thailand and you're going to a place where the idols are, there's a specific word that they use. I'm going to spell it out for you guys. It's called because it's a Sanskrit word, and I forgot my Sanskrit, so I'm going to try to remember how I pronounce it. It's called Garbhagriha, which is where the idol is. What's the difference between a shrine? Again, this is such an occupational hazard. What's the difference between a shrine and this is that usually this one, only the priest can enter. It's so sacred, and they'll close it at 6 o'clock, and then they'll open it in the morning, and the afternoon you can't go into the place. For a shrine, you can actually enter. Some people can enter a shrine. Sometimes the priests enter. People are allowed to enter a shrine. But if you go to a temple in Thailand, you're not allowed to do that. So especially if it's a Hindu temple or it has Hindu idols. So that's the difference. And I thought I would like to mention that because I learned that in my anthropology lecture a very long time ago. And this is fun. Chopped off versus chopped down. You can chop down trees. You don't chop down heads. You use the word beheaded. I like that word a lot. Anything to do with chopping off things, I like. But I did like the word beheaded. So if you want to say something, you say chop off. Like I chop off your head. So it's like if you watch Alice in the Wonderland, and the queen always says, off with your head. So it's chop off your head. So if anything, you chop off your head, or you can say to chop off the head of the vegetable. But if it is a tree, then you chop down the tree. So you cannot chop down the head of someone. I mean, it would be interesting to chop down, but you usually chop off.
That's a good.
Let's chop off. Like, you know, when you tell your students, if you don't listen, they will understand. Chop off. So use the word chop off instead of chop down. So So these are a few things that I picked up, but I thought it was very interesting to hear everyone's speech, and I like the phrases used for today. That's about it. Thank you very much, Jack.